Jamaica's ganja industry is often described as a billion-dollar opportunity rich in promise, culture, and economic potential. But as the industry grows, questions are emerging about who is truly reaping the rewards. In part one of this special feature, Yannick Williams takes us to the roots of the crop and the farmers who've carried it for generations.
I have been growing cannabis for more than 50 years because I started out when at high school, and I left high school in 1967. So.
For decades, ganja has been a cornerstone of Jamaica's informal economy, deeply tied to rural communities, tradition, and survival. From the hills of St. Anne to the fields of Westmoreland, small farmers have cultivated the crop long before decriminalization reshaped the national conversation. Ganja was first introduced to the island in the late 1800s by Indian indentured laborers. Over time, the herb became deeply rooted in Jamaican culture, particularly within the Rastafarian community, where it is used for spiritual rituals, meditation, and traditional remedies. But despite its cultural significance and widespread use, ganja was later criminalized by the government, remaining illegal for decades. Today, while the industry is valued in the billions, many traditional ganja farmers say they are still on the outside looking in. This farmer has been growing and selling for 34 years.
Cannabis has always been my life. I've never done, coming out of school, I've never done anything else. For me, the benefits, has put all my children through school, my life.
Advocate for marijuana, Ras Ivy says,
When you look at herb and those who use herb, whether they smoke it, whether they juice it, whether they boil from tea, then get something from herb that technically you don't get any from anything else. And as a youth, grassroots youth, working class background, I was exposed to smoking herb from way back maybe about 7. And, so experiencing it, I got something, there was a calm, there was a confidence, there was something about herb.
Meanwhile, cannabis advocate Dr. Knife says the plant has been a regular part of Jamaica's consumption and culture.
Because of Rastafari and other liberty as well, ganja has been a regular part of our consumption habit. And so it is not like a regular product. So then how do you create a business model which appreciates the culture of the plant, but also allows you to transition into a commercial practice? That requires a lot of work, and a lot of work in terms of mapping out what the industry is going to be like.
Since Jamaica decriminalized small amounts of marijuana in 2015 and created a regulated medical cannabis industry, licensing has become key to operating legally and making profits. But some farmers say even after decriminalizing, they are still being targeted.
I still have restrictions, yes. Because now and again, you still can lose based on what you do. Because traveling with weed with a certain amount can still put you in trouble. So you have to really basically know what you're doing.
Dr. Knife says the plant might be illegal, but Jamaica is the only place ganja is free.
Ganja is not just a regular commodity. Ganja is what is called a cultural commodity. It's a part of the Jamaican cultural landscape and by extension the Caribbean. And therefore you don't need parliament to create legislation in terms of how we use the plant, because by our culture we create our own legislation and regulation.
So while Jamaica's ganja brand continues to gain international recognition, questions remain about whether the people who built the industry are being left behind.
What we get is just a fraction for the whole big slice of cake. So just imagine it's a big cake, so we only take a little slice as a farmer.
But on a whole, it is the people with the money who are benefiting from this industry at the moment. And it shouldn't be so.
Tomorrow in part 2, we speak about big business and the legal market. Yannick Williams, TVJ News.